You glance at the clock. It's 11:11. Again. You pause at a stoplight. The license plate in front of you says 777. You think, is the universe trying to tell me something? Short answer, yes. Longer answer, you're answering it wrong. Because the Tao doesn't speak in signs. It speaks in syntax, in rhythm, in relational cues, in coded dialogue that responds only when you do. So let's start here. When you see 11:11, is it divine guidance? Or your brain playing tricks? Spoiler, it's both. And the moment you realize that, you unlock the Taoist cheat code. How to converse back. Not like superstition, not like a spiritual vending machine, but like poetry. Like a dream you're still inside of. Because the universe isn't just telling you something, it's becoming something in relationship with you. You are not a receiver, you are a rhythm maker. Let's decode how. Carl Jung called it synchronicity, a meaningful coincidence that lacks causal connection. He wasn't talking about magic. He was talking about meaning alignment between inner and outer. He observed how dreams, myths, and daily accidents form an echo chamber. Not through logic, but through what he called archetypal resonance. Archetypes are not just symbols. They are emotional geometries, like a triangle of grief or a spiral of transformation. They appear in story, image, and pattern across cultures and time. Now modern neuroscience adds this. You are a pattern-seeking machine. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon proves it. You buy a red car. Suddenly, every car on the highway is red. Is that magic? Or selective perception? It's both. Because your attention is a frequency dial, and when enough energy is focused, the universe shifts with it. Western science stops at, you noticed a pattern. But Taoism asks, did the pattern notice you back? Because in Taoist thought, reality is a relationship. Everything is alive. Everything is responsive. Everything is qi in motion. You are not an observer. You are a participant. The Tao doesn't give signs. It mirrors resonance. When you stop listening, it goes quiet. When you reattune, it composes symphonies. And when you harmonize, it speaks in a language no mouth can shape, but every cell remembers. Taoist master Zhuangzi once dreamt he was a butterfly. When he woke, he asked, was I a man dreaming I was a butterfly? Or a butterfly dreaming I am a man? That is cosmic language. Fluid, recursive, uncertain, not for control, but for communion. The signs aren't pointing to something, they're pointing with you. You and the universe are not exchanging messages. You are composing meaning together. Welcome to the Tao of Whispers. The universe doesn't shout. It layers, like poetry, like dreams, like jazz improvisation. It moves in 3 layers: symbol, synchronicity, syntax. But most people stay trapped in layer 1. They memorize symbols without context. They quote angel numbers, but don't listen to their nervous system. They assign meaning, but don't enter relationship. That's like seeing musical notes, but never hearing the melody. Let's decode the melody. Let's enter semantic alignment, where every sign becomes part of a deeper sentence. First comes the symbol, the image that appears. You see a feather. You dream of wolves. You pull the same tarot card 3 days in a row. These are symbols. But more importantly, they are archetypal images, codes from your subconscious, encrypted in metaphor. Carl Jung again. Symbols are the language of the unconscious. A snake may represent fear, or healing, or sexuality, or rebirth. It depends on your resonance, your cultural lens, and your inner landscape. Taoism says truth has no shape. It takes 1,000 forms. So the question is never, what does this mean in general? It is, why this symbol, now, for me? That's the start of fluency. Practice. Create a symbol log. Write down 1 to 3 symbols you notice each day. Next to each, describe what you felt. Don't Google it. After 7 days, reread aloud. What's the hidden thesis your life is writing? Draw each symbol by hand, even poorly. Activate the visual spatial part of your brain. You're not just observing symbols, you're becoming their scribe. Then the synchronicity, the repetition that nudges. Symbol becomes synchronicity when it repeats. You think of someone, they text you. You hum a line, that lyric plays in a café. This isn't about magical thinking, it's about entanglement. In quantum physics, entangled particles respond to each other instantly, even across galaxies. Taoists say, heaven and earth move as one breath. That's synchronicity. It's when the inner breath and outer breeze move at the same time. The key difference between a sign and synchronicity: repetition plus rhythm. Synchronicity is a temporal choreography. It wants you to notice not just what, but when. Practice. Each time synchronicity strikes, pause and record. What were you just feeling? What tension were you ignoring? What would shift if you took it as a yes? This builds your inner radar. Over time, you'll know which patterns are pathways and which are echo chambers. Create a synchronicity map. Use string, pins, sticky notes, old school. See where in space your patterns concentrate. You'll be shocked where the Tao prefers to speak. Finally, the syntax, the deeper structure beneath it all. Now the magic unfolds. Syntax is pattern over time. It's not a word, it's not a symbol, it's a sentence of energy. You see a crow, then a death metaphor in a book, then a dream of your childhood room, alone, random, together, revelation. This is where most people stop. They want the sign to tell them what to do. But the Tao isn't predictive, it's co-creative. Syntax forms when you notice the sequence, not just the symbol. Practice. Choose a 3-day window. Write down what repeats, what themes appear, what moods intensify, what random moment landed deep. Then ask, what conversation is trying to happen through me? Syntax is never about the thing. It's about the way the thing arrives, its pace, its placement, its pairing. You're not tracking signs, you're tracing storylines. Close each week by drawing a Tao sentence. Use a line, a word, a color, a sound. Don't explain it. Just name the movement. This is syntax in Taoism, flow that teaches you through participation.
The universe doesn't speak English. It speaks energy. It speaks in dialects of experience. And you already speak them. You just forgot how to listen. Let's remember the 5 dialects of the Tao: emotion, sensation, environment, dreams, and desire. Emotion, the translator of your inner tide. Emotion isn't a flaw, it's a cosmic interface. Anger is compression. Grief is decoding. Joy is alignment. If your emotions were a language, what would today's sentence say? Ask, what's loud right now? What am I suppressing because it's irrational? What if my mood is a weather report, not a weakness? Practice. Journal the dominant emotion of your day. Without explanation, describe how it moves in your body. Assign it a verb, a color, or a temperature. Emotion is not evidence of failure. It's feedback from the Tao. Sensation, the whisper through your body. Your gut tightens, your skin tingles, your chest expands. That's not random. That's your body translating subtle truth. Taoists studied Qi not in books, but through movement. Tai Chi, Qi Gong, stillness as a scope. Modern science now confirms your fascia, your gut biome, your vagus nerve, all act as emotional antennas. Practice. Notice one shift in your body before you make a choice. Ask, what part of me just reacted? Trust your body's yes, no response, even before the mind decides. The body speaks softly, but never falsely.
Environment. Your visible echo. Your room. Your browser tabs. Your refrigerator. They are not background. They are echo fields. Feng Shui teaches, the outer form is a continuation of inner Qi. Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Your space speaks. The Tao arranges it. Practice. Choose one neglected corner. Clean it without pressure. Notice what internal pattern softens with it. Clutter isn't just physical. It's informational static. Declutter with sacred attention. You're rewriting your internal syntax. Dreams, the nocturnal broadcast. Dreams are Taoism's open-source oracle. They don't predict. They process. A flood dream may not mean danger. It may mean your emotional body is at capacity. A childhood friend appearing may symbolize the forgotten gift you once carried. Practice. Keep a dream log. Highlight repeated places, figures, feelings. Ask, where did I feel that same emotion in waking life yesterday? Bonus technique. Try lucid integration. Upon waking, close your eyes again. Visualize finishing the dream consciously. You'll often receive the Tao's postscript. Desire, the compass of becoming. Desire isn't indulgence. It's instruction. Not all desire is holy, but all desire is data. Desire shows what part of you is trying to expand. The Tao doesn't judge want. It watches it move. Practice. Write down your top 3 recurring desires. Next to each, write, What kind of person does this desire require me to become? Then write, what fear keeps me from becoming them? You're not supposed to chase desire blindly, but neither are you meant to shame it. Desire is Tao's way of waking you up. The call isn't to get what you want. It's to grow into what it asks of you.
Now you're listening. Now you're fluent. But are you responding? Most people stop at interpretation, but fluency isn't passive. It's reciprocal alignment. The Tao doesn't just speak, it waits to be answered. So how do you whisper back? How do you compose instead of just decode? Here are 5 daily practices to become not just a receiver, but a living line of the syntax itself. First, we echo the energy. If the Tao repeats a word, say it aloud. If it keeps showing you birds, place a feather on your altar. If the same lyric follows you for days, write it on your mirror. This isn't superstition. This is symbolic feedback. Ritual. Choose one repeating theme. Answer it with an action, however small. The universe is like an improvisational partner. It plays louder when you play back. Next, we ritualize the response. Ritual is syntax made visible. Don't just think your response, embody it. Examples. Dream of waves, take a salt bath. Keep seeing clarity, light a white candle. Hear release, burn something symbolic. Practice. Create your own response toolkit. 3 objects for grounding, 3 gestures for listening, 3 phrases to speak aloud. Then mix them intuitively. You're crafting your own grammar of response. Then, we ask better questions. The universe doesn't answer yes or no. It resonates with inquiry. Bad questions. Should I quit? Will I meet someone? Better questions. What version of me is ending? Where is love already trying to find me? Prompt. Each morning, ask one poetic question. Speak it out loud, then forget it. Let the Tao answer later, through image, mood, or mood shift. After that, we track the feedback. You ask, the world shifts. You shift, it answers again. Most call this coincidence, but Taoism calls it alignment rhythm. Practice. Start a feedback log. Record every time the world echoes you back. Note the speed, tone, and theme. You'll begin to notice. The Tao doesn't speak more when you beg. It speaks more when you align. Finally, we practice empty listening. Sometimes nothing arrives. No sign, no clarity, just fog. This isn't absence, it's invitation to silence. Stillness is a Taoist portal, because when you're too full, the Tao has nowhere to land. Practice. Schedule 17 minutes weekly for 0 input, no phone, no task, no music. Let your mind wander without controlling it. You're not meditating, you're making room. That's when the universe speaks sideways, through goosebumps, through memory, through still breath. The universe whispers. So does your fear. So does your ego. Not all signs are sacred. Some are self-projections. Some are coping mechanisms. Some are emotional phishing emails. Just because it repeats doesn't mean it's real. Just because it feels magical doesn't mean it's medicine. So let's refine your cosmic discernment, not to silence the universe, but to hear it more clearly. First, the false synchronicity, signs that mirror panic, not presence. Some signs are too dramatic, too convenient, too aligned with your fear. Examples: I saw 1111 right after I panicked, so I must be right. 3 people confirmed my anxiety, so it must be a download. My dream told me to move right after my rent went up. Truth check. Did the sign come from centered energy or desperation? Discernment cue. Did the sign arrive with urgency or quiet conviction? Did it open your body or tighten it? Would it still feel true if no one else validated it? The Tao never shouts, only fear does. Then, the voice of ego, dressed in sacred words but driven by fear. The ego is clever. It learns your spiritual vocabulary, then it mimics it. It starts saying things like, "You're not aligned. You're not high vibe enough. That person's blocking your manifestation." But real Taoist wisdom is humbling, not inflating. Questions to filter ego guidance. Does this sign make me feel above others? Am I using this pattern to avoid responsibility? What part of me wants this to be true? If your intuition only ever justifies your impulses, it may not be intuition. It may be fear in a ceremonial robe. Next, the karmic spam. Those repeating loops that aren't messages. They're echoes. Ever get déjà vu in relationships? Same lessons, different faces. That's not guidance. That's unprocessed karma repeating itself. Sometimes the universe sends patterns not to bless you, but to test if you're awake yet. Practice. Make a list of 3 recent signs you followed that led to friction. Ask, what deeper wound were they feeding? Was I guided or seduced? Rewrite each one into a boundary, not a prophecy. Don't confuse familiarity with frequency. Next, energetic noise, the static we absorb from others. Sometimes false signs aren't even from you. They're picked up from emotional static. You're sensitive. You're a tuning fork. That means sometimes your body downloads other people's unprocessed urgency. Daily practice. At end of day, light a small candle. Say, anything not mine, I return. Anything still mine, I digest. Close with one breath into the belly. Clean your inbox, spiritually. Finally, the Taoist delay, the rule that says truth never rushes. The ultimate filter? Time. Tao never panics. It repeats what's true until you're ready to act. Tao rule. If it's really guidance, it'll come back softer. It won't punish you for not acting right away. It'll wait. If it vanishes when you pause, it was ego. If it deepens when you pause, it was Tao. You don't need to second-guess every sign. You just need a rhythm of reflection. Discernment is not doubt. It's sacred slowness. When in doubt, don't demand more signs. Just become still enough to know whether they're real, because silence is also a message.
You don't need oracle cards. You don't need pendulums. You don't need to channel. You are already a portal. The Tao isn't looking for followers. It's looking for conductors. What if your breath was a signal tower? What if your habits were spells? What if your presence translated divinity? You don't need more answers. You need a rhythm. So here it is. In the morning, open the channel. The moment you wake, before phone, before thought, pause. Your body is still between worlds. Ritual. Ask. What 3 words describe this moment? Don't force. Let them come. Write them down. These are your frequency tags for the day. Optional. Hum once for each word. Let the vibration anchor it. You're not predicting the day. You're declaring your wavelength. By midday, pause for the Tao audit. Sometime before lunch, pause. Ask, what has repeated? What felt heavy? Where did I ignore softness? Tao audit prompts. What am I forcing? What am I refusing to feel? What sign am I hoping to avoid? Then whisper, I surrender this pattern. Show me its next form. You're not correcting. You're collaborating. At night,
close the loop. Before bed, close your eyes, place a hand on your chest, and whisper, "What tried to teach me today?" Don't analyze. Feel. Integration practice. Write down one moment that felt off script. Imagine it was your dream. What would it symbolize? This rewires the brain into a dream state of consciousness, even while awake. Once a week, step into field echo. Choose one day each week. No goals, no output, just listening. Instructions. Go for a walk without your phone. Let the environment choose your path. Every time you see something that repeats, pause. Whisper back what it reminds you of. This is called field echoing. It's not a task, it's Taoist poetry in motion. Over time, you won't need rituals. You are not reading signs anymore. You are speaking them. Every emotion, every gesture, every thought you follow or release is part of the syntax. You are a phrase inside the universe's poem, and you don't need to understand it all. You just need to be in rhythm. The Tao doesn't speak English. It speaks in shivers, recurring moods, cracked voices, flashbacks, eye contact, flight patterns, dreams that make no sense until they do. And you? You don't need to understand it. You need to remember it. You're not a seeker. You're a syllable, not a follower. A verse, not a student. A translator. And the Tao is still speaking. Not in signs, but in syntax. If the universe ever sent you a message that changed your life, comment below, "The Tao once whispered to me," or "How I speak back."
Let's build a library of real-world whispers, because your syntax might be someone else's sign.